One of the often overlooked features of Adobe Muse is the Accordion panel, which is an animated little panel, which I can pull up a preview of here, where you click and it expands a section and collapses another section, so you could look at one bit of information at a time. Now, the default Accordion panel in Adobe Muse, one, it's ugly. It's very ugly, and it's kind of a pain in the neck to style it and make it look nice. But two, the accordion overall is just not an extremely popular design element. But there's another way to use it that I think is pretty cool, and that's by creating a single tab accordion. And here's a functional example of that. I'm going to open it up real quick. And you can see here that I've just got these little buttons underneath each item, but here's the sweet part. If I click on one of them, it expands. Not only does it expand, it actually pushes down the rest of the content on the page, which I just think is the coolest thing. It just gets everything else out of the way. Just about no matter what, and I haven't experimented with too many scenarios, but in a normal scenario where you've just got objects placed on the page, it pushes them out of the way successfully, doesn't even mess up my rollovers, so that's pretty nice. So let me just show you real quick how to build one of those. It's just a quick, dirty, easy little tutorial today, and I first want to go to my widgets library. When you pull up the widgets library, you'll find panels, it's a folder, and then inside that you'll find accordion. So I'm just going to drag the accordion onto the page, and then I'm going to select this second tab, and I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to select this, what was the third tab, and I'm going to delete that, so I have nothing but one tab remaining. Now the other thing I want to do is I want to select this and get rid of its active state, its mouse down state, and its rollover state, which you can do from the top left-hand corner here. There's a little trash can to delete those states if you guys have not worked much with rollovers before. I just want a normal start, and I can add that style back in if I want to. So now the parts of this, we've got this label area up here where you cannot put whatever you want. That's just a text label there. But you can go up here to text, and you can add a little style to that. Currently this is the active state, by the way, and here's where it gets really annoying. When you click on this to select it, when you go from here to here, or when you go from outside to inside, whenever you select label, it switches to the active state for label, because there is a normal state and there's an active state. Even though I deleted it, it insists on me having an active state, so that way I can show the difference between when this part is selected, or when this tab is selected, versus one of the other tabs being selected. But I don't have other tabs anymore. So just watch out for this switching you to the active state, because you'll want to switch the normal state for when people are not on top of the button. So I'm going to set that to center the text. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Let's go with a font that's not so bad. We can go with Source Sans Pro. Let's do light. And as far as the fill of this box goes, I'll just change that to a dark red. And as far as the content in the box goes, we've got this sort of target area where the label's above and the content area, as they call it, is below. And then inside of that, there's a text frame. So there are several parts. It's a part and a part and a part. And to go all the way back, there's the whole accordion. That's the most broad part. And then you click again on the bottom half, and you're in the content area. And then inside the content area, there's a text frame. So it's parts on parts on parts. So I'm going to shrink this down, and I'm going to shrink the content area down a bit, because I do want this to line up with the image below, or the images above. And you'll notice here I can't make the content box smaller than the content that's inside. So make sure that the text frame is small enough to fit within the confounds of your entire box. So now that I've got my text frame shrunk down, I'm able to shrink my content frame down, my content area here. And now I'm going to get rid of the stroke on that content area. I'm going to get rid of the stroke on the label. And you'll notice there's still a stroke around it, because the entire accordion also has a stroke. So just don't forget how many parts there are to this thing. And it's really kind of pesky to deal with. But what's cool about the content area, like I said, there's a text frame inside the content area. You can put whatever you want inside the content area. You can put a little slideshow inside the content area if you want to, and you can make it as big or as small as you want to. So that's pretty sweet. Now the label's much more limited. The label really doesn't let you do much of anything. And check it out, it switched me back to the active state. But since I made my changes on normal, I'm okay, but I didn't change the stroke while I was on normal. when I changed the stroke, it had switched me back to the active state. So I'm going to delete the active state again, and I'm going to make sure that I correct the stroke on normal. So normal and active should be the same now. Good. Those are looking good. It's really a pest when you go back and make a change to the label, because it will switch back to the active state every damn time. So just keep an eye on that top left corner when you select it to make a change. So the other thing is, up here there's my little disclosure triangle to get my settings here. And we want to say, yes, you can close all. And you really don't want to do this until after you've got all your content in there, because it becomes a little tricky to deal with. Because when you turn on can close all, if you go to try to edit your label, when you click on the label, it now collapses it, because we can close all of the elements here. So that way there's no inner content showing for the accordion at any given time. So what you're doing here is you're actually deciding the initial state for this accordion. If I leave it open and I publish my site, this will be open when the page loads. If I click again on the title and close it, then this will be closed when the page loads. So let's take a look. I'm going to preview it in the browser with it closed. Sure enough, it loads closed, and when I click on it, when it expands, pushes everything down, looks pretty good. And I can put whatever I want in there again. So I could open this up by clicking on it, and then I'm going to want to switch the can close all behavior temporarily while I'm back to editing. And while I'm back to editing, I can scoot this guy down, and I could come over here to library. I think I have, here we go, my green 3D button set from museresources.com. I could throw in a small single button here. And that's now inside the content area of the accordion, because that's where I dropped it. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to go switch can close all back on. I'm going to close the thing, and when I preview it, I'm now going to have my buy button on the inside of that. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it's a versatile tool. You can customize it to no end, with the exception of the label. The label really is pretty much a box, which fortunately you can round the corners of, but it is just a box that doesn't let you do much with it, except type what you want and style the text the way you want it. You can't put graphics in the label box, unfortunately. So check this out. I mean, try it out. I'll probably create a downloadable mulib file for this and put it on museresources.com. I'll probably do that within the next couple of days. I don't think it's going to be that popular of a download, but if you guys like this and you like tutorials like this, please subscribe if you haven't already, because I will have plenty more coming soon. And keep an eye on museresources.com, because I have been adding stuff. Alright guys, see you soon.